everyone. Today I have Debaneel with me, and he recently cracked RBI Grade B examination for year 2023. And from his story, I can say you are going to learn about his journey, about his story, about his achievement. You're going to learn very soon. But see, ups and down comes in everyone's life. But अगर comeback आपको करना है, so do it like just like the Devnil have done it. So you will see कि मैं ऐसा क्यों बोल रही हूँ. His journey is very interesting one, and I would request you to stay here. You'll learn a lot from his journey. There are great life lessons also and lessons for RBI also. So first, I'd like to welcome you, Devnil. Today it's great honor for me to welcome you here.
For a great introduction. Thank you.
All right, Devanil. So we'll start with very simple. So just can you just summarize your whole journey? Like what was your educational background and how did the preparation journey of RBI started and where did it land you? Like today you are here. So how did it all begin?
So, ma'am, I was born and brought up in Guwahati, Assam. So I've done my schooling from there itself. Then I did my graduation in electrical engineering from NIT Silchar. I passed out in 2018. After that, I worked for 2 years in an IT company as a business analyst role. And during that time, I started preparation for CAT, ma'am, because I wanted to do my MBA. So that was the purpose. But then here I will just include my dad because my dad works in NABARD. So there was always this RBI thing in the back of the mind because my dad, when I was graduating in 2018, then only he started saying that start preparing for RBI. It's a great opportunity. It's a great job. So at that time, I just said to him that let me take few years experience in corporate. I will see this side also, and then I will think about this. So then I left my job in October 2020, and then I started preparing for CAT. Like all, I was preparing for CAT, but then seriously I gave 1 2 months. But then, like we said, that everything is not in our hands. So that year 2020 CAT, I got 96.52%. Then I screwed in the VA section, VRC section, which is my strong point. Usually I score good in mocks, but then things did not go that well. So yes, the main colleges which I was targeting, the top five, I did not get because of this percentile. But then I had calls from other IIMs. So ma'am, so now comes 2021, the initial phase of January 2021. I was really confused at that time. Like I was talking to people that whether I should take a drop because already I had left the job. So whether I should take a drop for next year and go again for CAT, or whether I should see other opportunities. So during that time only, ma'am, like I remember it was 18 January. I remember that day. So that day I was just walking and I just remembered my dad's that thing about RBI thing. So I was walking outside and I just started doing Google about RBI. What is the exam pattern? I got to know that in 2020 the exam was not conducted. So most probably in 2021 in the coming months it will be conducted. And then I went to RBI website, what RBI does, the functions. And then I was like, wow, like I really, well, that motivated me that, okay, this is an organization which is not typical government organization. It also has the corporate things. There is a lot of learnings. And the one other thing which I like about is that I read about Golden Jubilee Scholarship also that day itself. Although I didn't know the reality, but then that day I got to know that even RBI gives a lot of opportunities to study also. So then I thought, okay, then maybe this year anyway my CAT did not go that well. So maybe I can do MBA later also. Why not target this exam RBI Grade B? And if I get into this organization, I will get a lot of experience. The peer culture will be also be very good. Then I can prepare. So 18 January, I decided to start banking preparation, especially RBI Grade B. And this was my first exam which I targeted. And I remember in 2020, into January 20 only, a notification of RBI came out that I was hoping that at least I will get 3 to 4 months, but then notification came out. So I was very confused, and I just gave the first attempt. In fact, for this, I did not wanted to give any backups at that time. So I did not even appear for the other IM interviews which I was shortlisted for SPJM or all those interviews because I wanted to, okay, I've decided. I told to my dad and parents. Initially, they were confused because they were like, you were class 1.5 years for CAT and now suddenly you want to go for RBA. Then I said, no, like I've decided and I want to get into this organization. So at least give me 1 year, I will try properly. So that happened, and then I started. So in the first attempt in 2021, this 1 month preparation, March 6 was the prelims I gave, and I scored 54, and the cutoff was 66. In 2021, RBI pattern changed. So descriptive came, and the prelims also became very tough because last year in 2019, I think the cutoff was above 100, but then suddenly it came to 66. So everything changed. So then I decided, okay, maybe, of course, with 1 month's preparation, it's not possible. So I thought I will give another attempt. In the meantime, also NABARD came. So now I knew that NABARD will come. It was 2021. So NABARD was in September. So ma'am, from March to September, I will say it was a chaos period in my life. Chaos period in the sense that although I knew I have sources at that time, initially started. I took EduTap subscription also in April, and then I started preparing. But then now I did not know what to focus. Like I was focusing on ESI static. I gave 1 month to ESI static, only 1.5 months going into details, those things which are not important. Like okay, it's important for knowledge, but we don't need to delve in that much deeper into those things. Rather, in exam the current affairs things are asked. Same I did with NABARD for agriculture. Also, ARDI is too much focused. I left out government schemes. I left out the important things which needs to be done. So then September also the same thing was there. Like cutoff was of NABARD, I think 51 or something around that, and I scored 50, 49. So after I did not clear NABARD, there was some doubt. I'll be honest with you. There was some doubt within me also and my parents also. Because it was like I have been like I was from NIT and then I did CAT. In CAT also I did TikTok well. So then I was like, wow, maybe I need to get serious. So the next exam was SBI PO. So here I will also mention one thing, ma'am. Like I knew that RBI is a bit unpredictable. I talked with few seniors also. Like you never know what you get into interview and all this. I wanted to give a backup also. So that's also a thing. So I appeared in other exams also. So next exam was SBI PO. And that was a turning point because SBI PO also in 2021, the cutoff was 63 and I scored 57. I remember that day. And after I did not clear SBI, that the prelims, I was like, man, you are living in another bubble. The real world is very different. You are way behind. You are way behind things. So you really need to buckle up. Else, like I was just thinking, chalo nikal jayega exam and all, but then it was not that the case. So, ma'am, that year I gave SEBI also. So SEBI and wrote mains of SEBI. But Ussal Meras, like only one exam I cleared, and that was IBPS PU, where I was allotted Bank of India. And that too with the normal preparation which I had. I did not prepare separately for IBPS PU or the normal quants reasoning English. So, ma'am, that was my first phase of what to say. If I divide my preparation of two phases. So, and again, I would like to add the RBI also 2022 I appeared, and then that prelims, although I cleared the overall cutoff, but in sectional cutoff of reasoning, I did not clear by 0.25 marks. So that was also a big shock. So it was like, wow, I did not clear that also. Because I prepared well for that attempt. So that covers up my that first attempt, first year attempt. Where I attempt most of the exams. I appeared SIDBI also that year. I did not clear SIDBI also. So then, ma'am, did my document verification. Everything was done, and then I started my. So I was able to join Bank of India as a PO. And then I remember it was also a turning point because sometimes you say, no, God sends people. Like suddenly they will send someone and who will just change your course of life. So I remember 27 July it was, and my dad called me in the morning and he said that I talked with one of my colleague. He's a new joiner in Nama, and he said that he has seen your scorecards and all, and he said that you should give one more attempt. If you are serious for RBI and all those exams, don't join bank PO. If you don't have any financial burden, if you're privileged enough to just sit at home and study, parents are supporting you, then go for one more attempt. So I'm there. It started. At that time, initially I told my dad, no, I don't want to listen to him. I have decided I will join. I cannot study more, so I'll join and then I will prepare. But then I remember at evening I talking to that senior, and he said, "Ki like if you are really focused towards RBI, then please then give 1 year to yourself and see if you. I know I have confidence in you." At that time, he had more confidence in me than I had on myself. So he said, "I have seen your scorecards. You have just missed by margins. Give 1 year proper attempt. Next year again give IBPS, give every exams, and next year whatever exam comes, you join, or whatever you clear, you join." So, ma'am, 27 July, I decided that I will go for another attempt without any job, without anything, and again start this journey. So, ma'am, in this journey, when I started, the first exam was NABARD. So I will just say what are the exams I cleared. So for the viewers also. So after that, in this cycle, I cleared IBPS PO. Again, I got Canara Bank. I cleared SBI PO, where I got All India rank 21. I set for in NHB, I'm in waitlist. Okay, so but then I got 48 out of 15 the interview, so it was highest. Then, ma'am, I also cleared SIDBI, and currently I'm working as assistant manager in SIDBI. And then I also gave SSC CGL that year, like this 2022 year, and I got GST inspector, got selected, and finally I got RBI Grade B. So I can say that 2023 year was a very lucky year for me. Like I cleared most of the exams which I gave.
So Devanil, you have listed out all the examination, and along with that, today you are RBI Grade B officer. So what changes did you make? You told us about the first phase of your preparation journey where you were seeing setbacks after setbacks, right? And at one point, you gave up on everything, right? So, what changes did you make in the second phase that led to the phase two success that you have listed out all the examination? So, what were the main, I would say, trigger that you have done or the changes that you have made that have made the second half possible?
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, one of the most important change I made is that in 2021, no, whenever the exams used to come, say I have an exam of NABARD mains or SEBI mains, then I used to just focus on that exam for 1.5 months, and I used to leave everything, like no quants reasoning practice for those 1.5, 2 months and everything. So उससे क्या होता था, like I used to lose speed on quants
Hmm.
or reasoning. So one change I did is that this year 365 days daily I will give to quants and reasoning 3 hours only, but then daily it should be there. Similarly, newspaper reading I made it a part of my daily curriculum, so that at least daily I need to read. It's not like okay in SEBI means newspaper is of not that much importance I can study. So I will, like in 2020 I ignored newspaper reading and PIB and all those reading for almost 1 year. So that sorry, not 1 year, for those 1.5 months. But then this year I did not do, like I kept my slots fixed, like 3 hours for quants and reasonings, 1.5 hours for a newspaper and PIB, whatever. The remaining 5 hours which I have in my day, that has to focus on whatever particular exam till the last week. Okay, of course, if the mains is in next week, then last week I did not prepare for quants reasoning, but then if it's main and it's not that important for mains. But then I tried that these things I keep doing like every day. Okay. Then ma'am, the second change which I've done is that regarding ma'am the preparation, especially in quants and reasoning. So coming to quants and reasoning, ma'am, what used to happen is that initially I had my old methods of solving, and I used to solve using that only in mocks. I used to just attend mocks, solve all the questions using my own methods and whatever solution it used to be there. So what used to happen is that, ma'am, I feel a subject matter expert who will be teaching quant say for 10 hours daily, or who will be in touch with that subject because that's their expertise. So they will have more tricks, they will have more methods to solve rather than me who is just giving 3 hours quants and reasoning daily. So another change which I made is that I started solving quants and reasoning through YouTube channels, which were free, and there are many channels who conducts the sessions for IBPS, PO, SBI, PO mains, quants, mains, and prelims level questions. So I used to go to their video. I used to take my stopwatch. I used to first see the questions solved by myself, and then I used to see the teacher how they have solved it. And 40-50% times there was a new method which I used to find that they okay teacher used in a much simpler way, solved it in a much faster way. So I used to note it down or I used to remember. And then so this also improved my speed, man. Because before in 2021 attempt in quants and reasoning, especially I was stuck to my old method. So in reasoning, we get those circular based puzzles and all those things. So I have to make 4 or 5 cases and then solve with my old traditional methods. But then,
Mhm.
as I saw teachers, we don't need to go for that much possibilities. It could be done in a faster way. So
Mhm.
this is the second change I did. And third, I will say, man, the attitude change, man. Like in 2021, I used to be like, I used to daily beg to God, yeah, exam dilado, or this one, this one. So please help me in this exam. So, but then in 2022 attempt, especially after NABARD, because NABARD I had hopes after in that 2022, although in that means I think 130 was cut off and I scored something around 127, 126. I forgot the exact number. But then after that, I just took a promise to myself. From today, I will not beg to God about any exams. All I will do is just have faith in Him, and I will do my karma. I will wake up in the morning. I will set my to-do list, whatever I have to do, and before night, I will see how much I have done, and I will sleep. And daily, I will come. I will what to say? I will do this cycle repeatedly with discipline. And someday, if He is happy with my effort, He will give me whatever exam I deserve. And if he's not happy also, then something I will do. That much I had confidence in myself that I will do something and maybe I will get somewhere. So, but then that discipline was the other thing. These are the three changes I did, ma'am, my attitude.
I think you have like summarized a great deal, and I think that's a great lesson, especially for the candidates who are preparing for multiple examination. The first lesson you told is no, don't disrupt your routine. Like if you have a main goal and you have other backup examination, prepare accordingly, but have a daily routine of the examination, just like the common subject of quant. Then you told us ki you have also changed your attitude, right? You used to do the quant reasoning English by yourself, no other like you rely on your old preparation, but this time you give chance to other people who are indulging preparing, teaching the quant reasoning English, and you come to know, learn more methods about that help you a great deal. And especially when you missed by few points in the sectional cutoff
Yes,
of
ma'am.
reasoning, it must have hurt a lot. So
Yes, ma'am.
you took a lesson from there and you apply it here. Then third lesson, I think that is some personal growth also. Then, rather than just requesting, you focus on your practice. So you pray to God, ki, okay, enough is enough. I have asked about a lot. Now I'll show, and please you give result accordingly. So you have also told us that you took guidance at various stage of your preparation. So how important you would say is guidance for a new candidate who is appearing or going to, appear in the RBI examination next year?
Think it's important, especially first, I think we need to stick to the syllabus. I think we deviate to many sources, a lot of other things. So that's not required. We need to stick to syllabus. Regarding guidance, also, I had few seniors, like since my dad works in NABARD, so I had few seniors whom I know. And other than that, ma'am, like what everybody's strategy is unique. That I have not followed anyone's strategy as such.
Mhm.
Yes, for guidance you can see topper session, you can there's so many channels where everyone gives guidance, teaches about how to crack,
Mhm.
how to approach the exam. You
Mhm.
see, you learn, you make notes or whatever you think will work for you, and then you imply it
Mhm.
in yourself. Also, I will not say that don't focus on only strategy for next, for example, next 45 days, 50 days. You're just focusing on strategy videos.
Mhm.
Your strategy, if you think that it will work, apply it in your at least for 2 weeks and see if it's
Mhm.
working. If it's not working, then try something else. But then
Mhm.
we need to apply also rather than just searching for different sources, going to places, and then nothing works as such. Yeah.
Mhm. I think that is also a great lesson. Ki you should also go for the application part rather than just listening part of the strategy. And if it works, it works. Although, of course, everybody is unique, so they'll have to modify strategy somehow, somewhere, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But they need to have faith on themselves also and the strategy also. Then only it will
Mhm.
work. Now, since you were giving a lot of examinations, especially if I talk about year 2021, so that would have been a most hurtful year, right? So when we are talking about the examination, see, picking yourself after the failures is the one of the most, I would say, toughest task for an aspirant. People usually what they do, they give two, three serious attempts, sometimes even one attempt, and if they are not able to, they think I am like not enough for this examination. I'm not made for this examination. Just give up. Right. So, how did you pick up? Because you were planning for RBI, and when you are not able to plan even the, I would say, SBI PO, that hurt your self-esteem also, and it, forces you to look inside. Right. So, what I would say was your source of inspiration, or what you would suggest other candidate, because you can also be a very well inspiration for the people who are watching this.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, one of my role model will be Virat Kohli. So he was also going to a very low pace last 3 years when he was not getting centuries and all. So, ma'am, from here also we can learn that all we can do is give efforts, and
Mhm.
results is not in our hands. We can just
Mhm.
give efforts only. So
Mhm.
what I used to think is that, like, in no exam, only I said in regarding NABARD, one day I just for almost 3 4 hours I was sad after not clearing NABARD in 2020 to the mains of NABARD. But then other than that, ma'am, anyway, all things are not in our hands. All we
Mhm.
So I used to just think, ma'am, here I would like to include one story. So one story in
Mhm.
the sense that I don't remember the senior's name, the
Mhm.
person's name, but then I remember in 2022 seeing a status in one of the Telegram channel. I don't even remember the Telegram channel. But
Mhm.
then that person was in waitlist in RBI in
Mhm.
2021 attempt.
Mhm.
And then he just gave up. He was like, okay, I'm done. He missed by very less margin, so he gave up, and then he joined a startup. He was
Mhm.
working well, and he really enjoyed the company there, the people and everything. He was very happy with that thing, and he just
Mhm.
forgot everything and was doing his work.
Mhm.
And then he cleared SEBU also that year, and then he got to know that his RBI waitlist is also cleared. And ma'am, I
Mhm.
remember he's saying a quote. He mentioned a quote there, and ma'am, I just took a screenshot of that quote, and I have saved it in my desktop also. And daily morning I used to see it whenever I used to open my laptop, because laptop I used to study it through my laptop only. And ma'am,
Mhm.
it's a that quote from a Bhagavad Gita given by Lord Krishna only, and where he
Mhm.
says, "Believe in yourself and do your karma. Success
Mhm.
will follow you automatically. Doing
Mhm.
karma is in our hands only. Result is not in our hands." So even right now I'm reading from my desktop only. And on the
Mhm.
other, I'm a purpose for your pain, a reason for your struggle, and a reward for your faithfulness. Trust me and don't give up. So, ma'am, that quote really touched me, and I was like, yes. At the end, for example, in every exam, you take it UPSC, you take RBA, there's always this uncertainty. There is, even if you are 100%, even if you give 100% your mains, still there are chances in mains it's subjective. So it becomes descriptive exam. So you then also there's certain sort of uncertainty. In interview, it's even more uncertain. In that 10, 15, 20 minutes of your interview, what happens, how the questions are asked, and how things goes. So those things are not all we can do is prepare. And there is a tinge, I will say, in fact, luck plays a very big role in interview. So you with those things are not in our hands. We can just focus on our effort part and just leave. And if you have confidence and self-belief in yourself, in my case, I had that belief. Like मुझे था कि but the last job which I left, I was earning 55, 56,000 there also. So worst case में मैं again I will do an MBA and again I will go back to private. तो वो तो एक था ही, कुछ ना हुआ तो वो कर ही लूंगा, कुछ ना कुछ तो कर ही लूंगा. So that confidence I had. So it's like अभी जो कर रहा हूँ, now I'm like trying for RBI. Let me इस साल भी अगर नहीं होता तो next year I would give and just give few attempts, and then if you think it's not working, then find an alternative what to say plan. Although I will say if you're really focused on RBI, you at least give 1 year properly. In my case, मैं backup के बाद backup ढूंढने पे लग गया. So I was giving all exams, and but then yeah, so I think 1 year to give properly, at least 8, 9 months to give properly. Once you have covered your syllabus, everything you have given, and you give a proper attempt, अगर उस साल ना हुआ, then you know कि you have almost done 80, 70% of this. Current affairs will get changed, but the remaining things will remain static. So those things you revise, and then you attempt other exams also. I will not say कि 2 साल से ज्यादा तुम एक एग्जाम पे लगो if it's not getting clear, because sometimes luck and all those things also play a role. So everything is not in our hands. So yeah.
Okay, that is great. That is great. I think if somebody is preparing for RBI, he or she should focus RBI on, because you have the calling, right? And if you're
Yeah.
attempting that examination, plan B can come after plan A fails. But when you're
Yeah.
focusing on plan A, just focus on your plan A,
Yeah.
right?
At least
That's a
1 year
great lesson.
give up. That's one.
Yeah, yeah. So even if you know you fail this attempt, you have prepared the static portion well. Current affair,
Yeah.
of course, you will have to renew, but rest you have prepared, have that confidence and go with that confidence. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you're talking about your journey, I would like
Yes,
to
ma'am.
ask, who is the unsung hero of this journey?
One is my parents. They have supported me immensely because I will say I'm privileged. I never had this issue of financial burden or something. I had a room, I had AC in there, I had laptop, I had internet connection, I had table. I just need to sit and study. So everybody does not have that, and I really consider myself, I'm humbled and I have that privilege. So I'm thankful to God. And the second is by a few of my friends. I was in contact with 1 or 2 friends, and my girlfriend. She has supported me this through this entire journey. So yes, these people have been a source of inspiration, yeah, and have helped me in coping up with my failures, and again motivating me to keep pushing on. Yeah.
I think having that healthy support system is very
Yes,
nice
ma'am.
thing, and one must have that. So you find that support system with your friends, your girlfriend, and your parents, and that's a great thing. So let's talk about your 2023 attempt of RBI where you cleared it. So since in phase one you have 4 subjects, you have quant, reasoning, English, and you have GA. So how did you prepare for those subjects? What were your sources, and what was your strategy to prepare those subjects
Yes,
from
ma'am.
those sources?
So, ma'am, quants reasoning for these two, I said as 2022 only July, I decided that every day I will give what to say 3 hours for quants and reasoning as I was preparing full time. So I did not prepare anything extra for quants and reasoning. Same following those video sources, which were free in YouTube, and there are good teachers who teach us for SBI PO mains level questions, which in RBI also mains level questions only come of SBI PO, IBPS PO. So I used to start with their marathon sessions. I used to just pause the timer. I used to pause the video, solve the question first by myself, and then used to see if they are teaching in any other method. If not, then this I should do daily. Quantum reasoning, for that I have not done anything extra as such. And also, ma'am, I will say that I have a background because I was from engineering background. I also give CAT. So of course those things were there. So I will not give false hopes to aspirants that kuch nahi, it's a 3 ghanta kind of so because we need to also see the cumulative effort from the past. So in that thing, I'm in touch with quantum reasoning from way in 2019 only. So if we see that way, because I give CAT and all
Mhm.
those things. So that's regarding quantum reasoning. From English, for English, luckily English is my strong section. So I did not prepare anything extra for English, only newspaper reading, which was anyway part of my daily routine. So through newspaper reading only, I did my English preparation. So 1 hour, 15 minutes I should give to Business Standard and The Hindu, these two newspapers. And my English preparation was based on these two newspapers only. The newspaper reading was enough for me. And just before exam, I gave 2 or 3 mocks just to get in touch, because since I was giving also other mocks, I was giving not mocks, giving me in exams like SBI, SSC, CGL, and all those things. SIDB. So I was in touch. So that's why also like with 2-3 marks was sufficient for me as I was in touch with other exams also.
Right, right. So, and for GA?
Ma'am, from GA, I refer to EduTap's magazine, which was the weekly magazine which comes because it's around 50-60 pages because the monthly magazine is too bulky. So I don't like for everybody it's different. So I used to refer the weekly magazine only. And ma'am, I used to highlight the PDF while reading it. And then in the second or third iteration, the highlight portion is to reduce because as you revise, you get to know. So that you don't need to, what to say, highlight almost everything. And so, for example, the first time while reading, if I highlight 200 lines, then just third time reading, it will be come back down to 80 or 70 because I know these are the only important parts. And while revision, I should just read the highlighted portions only. The other text I has to not read. So
Right.
that was how GI prepared for editor. Yes, and sometimes if I'm commuting to office or going somewhere else, then I should just see the video lecture through that. And EduTap marathon sessions were really helpful. In fact, I made notes and all those things for marathon sessions in YouTube. And since I was part of EduTap, so from the live classes also. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for the quant reasoning English, you refer to various channel, which channel prepare for the banking quant reasoning English means basically, and there you watch their marathon, you cover the method that they were telling, you learn that and you apply that, right? For GA part, you used to refer to EduTap's weekly magazine because monthly magazines were bulky, and you
Yes.
used
And of
to
course, other than that, the government schemes and those things I should cover, which also was again revised through the edited marathon sessions only. So those things were helpful.
yeah, yeah. So you for first reference you go to the magazine, and for revision purpose you use the marathons, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So, how much time did you get to prepare for the phase one of RBI? Because, as I'm not wrong, you were working at that time for in SIDB, right?
No, ma'am, I joined SIDBI after taking an extension. So I joined on
Mm-hmm.
July 17th. So
Mm-hmm.
for prelims, luckily, I got full time to study. Although I had SBI, medical, and all those things were there, small disturbance, small other things which I had to go up. But then still, after, especially, ma'am, I strongly started preparation of this thing for RBI on May 23rd because May 23rd the results of SIDBI came out and I think I was in waitlist 3 or 4. I don't remember the exact thing. So I initially my ma'am here also like that God plans something for you. So now if I see that getting into SIDBI's waitlist was very lucky for me because if I don't have been in waitlist and my name would have been final list, then I would have been selected in June 19 only. My joining date was June 19. At that scenario, preparation would have been much tougher. But since in May 23rd, I got to know that I've been waitlist, so I got time. So in fact, many seniors say that waitlist 3 or 4 will get cleared, so don't worry about that. So you have time. So I now give full focus to RBA preparation. So those one from May 23rd to June 9, I gave around 10 hours, 9 to 10 hours preparation daily. So because I did not have any other options, although I had like since I cleared SSC, CGL, SBI, PO, so all those things were there. SBI, PO also I got an extension luckily. So those things were so I did not have that pressure also कि अभी job नहीं है. So I knew कि I had a job to join. So now I just got 1.5 months fully to prepare for RBA. So let's give me everything. So till prelims I really got time to study. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that is great. So now, since you have gotten the time for like after phase one, you have gotten time. What was the first feeling? Were you confident कि okay, I'll be able to clear the phase one, so let's start preparing for phase two? Or was it like you didn't get time to prepare? How was the scenario?
Ma'am, in this thing, ma'am, while preparing for prelims, right, till July 9, I also prepared for mains. So that I will be honest. So I used to refer to just finance management notes as to read and all those things. So because I knew that at later stage, because I was not sure at that time whether I would get extension in SBI or not, or what will be the scenario in SSC, CGL and all those things. So so I did not get time because July 17 was my joining at Sydney. And I used to live in Mumbai and my joining was in Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. So I came from there. So I traveled here. And in fact, then after coming to a new place, you need to search for a new home, lease, accommodation, all those things, and new office, everything. So I'll be honest, July 10 to July 30, I just somehow I found had 3 hours per day to study that. So like I could not prepare properly. But then yes, so here also, ma'am, this thing comes that at the end, it's not about how much you prepare during after notification. It's also about the
Mm-hmm.
cumulative effort. So since I prepared for example, for finance and management, I prepared for 2022, so it was covered well. So then for ESI part, I covered for NABARD in 2022. For descriptive also, I properly prepared for NABARD in 2022. So at the end, ma'am, there at least I know at least 10 aspirants with whom I've talked. And everyone has said the इस साल का preparation इतना अच्छा नहीं था, but then my preparation was not that well. But in last year's efforts, yeah, before efforts came into picture. So then here also that thing comes that I was saying about the karma and those things. If you keep doing your hard work, someday or later it will bring results. But then you need to keep pushing yourself. So that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Overall, we can learn ki, see, preparation at that moment doesn't matter. Cumulative effort that you have done
Yes.
will show result, right?
Yes.
Not only ki after notification you're running around ki, okay, I have to study this. That can also work. But yes,
This
the
will
mehnat
work. Yeah.
that you're doing today that you have done yesterday is not going to be wasted. It will
Yes.
be utilized in one form or another in your examination,
Yes.
right? Now, when we are talking about the phase two, so since you said you didn't get time, but when you prepared, how did you prepare for descriptive English? Then how did you prepare for ESI? As you have told in NABARD itself, you covered it, but what sources did you refer to? And what was your strategy? And same thing, can you please share for the FM part?
Yes. So coming to English descriptive, ma'am, last year when I was preparing for NABARD, there was a book about how to write essay. It's
Mm-hmm.
by Ravi Kapoor. He's an Indian Revenue Service. Although it was the book was a small 200-page book. It was for
Mm-hmm.
UPSC
Mm-hmm.
candidates. I ordered that book because I just wanted to, and then I read that book and I made
Mm-hmm.
it was at that time I spent almost 20 days daily giving 3 hours to that thing to just to
Mm-hmm.
learn the art of descriptive writing. I remember,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to make notes like what are the like we have different terminologies they use. So, for example, social perspective, economic perspective, technical perspective, and
Mm-hmm.
so all those things, different ways how to form introduction. How to. So I read that book once, and I
Mm-hmm.
made a short note, a guidelines. It is as to how
Mm-hmm.
your answers or your essays should look like. So
Mm-hmm.
that was one which I did in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I remember I gave one mock in EduTap for
Mm-hmm.
number, and in
Mm-hmm.
that mock I scored 72. And
Mm-hmm.
after I got 72, I read the comments and they were like, "It's okay, you just need to improve this." So once I saw that I got 72 marks, मुझे नहीं पता एक अलग से confidence आ गया कि आता है लिखा है. All I need is content. If I have content, then I will somehow manage. So and that was the reason. इसलिए I know students might not believe, but मुझे RBI grade B के लिए I did not even get time to write mock. So I did not write mock. But wait, so since I knew that if I have content, then I will write. The next thing is also, ma'am, regarding my typing speed is around 63 words per minute. So वो आगे से ही था. It's not like now. So इसलिए I did not have that thing here. If I don't practice now, then मेरा typing slow हो जाएगा or something. So I had this thing from past itself. So that was thing. Although my keyboard, which I got my center was in Mumbai, so it was very like it was very bad. It was the keys were very tight. So I think my that's why my efficiency also reduced. But then still, I think I managed 45, 50 words per minute even after that situation. So, so regarding descriptive, that's where I prepared. And coming when I was regarding preparing for RBI attempt, since I was in office, like I used to make notes and all those things. So while typing email also, while I used to type in a proper way. That I'm thinking that okay, and whatever I'm typing, let's assume that it's a part of your RBI preparation only. And I used to type and I used to copy and paste it in a Grammarly to check how many grammar mistakes I'm doing. And the other thing is, I used to keep my sentences small because I realized that the more bigger the sentences are, the more chances of errors are there. So I used to keep the sentences very small, and the rest were that only the essay. I'm saying about English descriptive, the essay, the Pressy and RC. My main preparation was during NABARD preparation. This time I just added. This time I did not get that much time. I'll be honest, but then I was just preparing. I had those what to say. Once you prepare, you have some muscle memory that something is there. So you just enhance it. So yeah, this is regarding the English descriptive part. The next is coming to ESI. ESI, I will divide it into the two parts, the objective and the descriptive part. Ma'am, regarding the objective part, again here, since I used to read newspapers daily, it was helpful, Business Standard and the Hindu has to read. And since I was covering the current affairs magazine of EduTap, there we get GS plus ESI and GS plus FM also, GA plus FM also. So those sections I used to cover. So those things were there itself. And other than that, ma'am, the marathon sessions which were conducted, like I think after the notification itself, EduTap releases for those who have the course, releases the daily plan. I think two sessions we have, one from 4 to 6, one from
Yeah.
6. So but then unfortunately I never got chance to do a live class, but I used to always do recording class later at night or whatever with one point. So that I used to do. So those lessons, those things were very helpful. I used to make notes. If say if the question was solved in an MCQ way and I didn't know the details, I used to again take the terminology and search it in Google and say read about the scheme in detail. What was it and what is. So those things helped. So I relied for ESI and so ESI fully I relied on the EduTap materials and the marathon sessions, which were really helpful.
Mm.
Ma'am, coming to the descriptive part again, though that essay book I mentioned, which were
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
also mentioned how to write answer. So, ma'am, yes, I will suggest like what worked for me is that although I mean, if in RBI 2024 I would have prepared, and I would have prepared in this way only, that for every topic, no, ma'am, there are 50 topics. For every topic, we should have 1 to 1.5 pages note. For example, in ASI, we have topic like say sustainable finance, green finance, poverty. Then this year migration was there. So these topics, you write the heading, you take 1 or 2 standard definition from Google. One definition is fine, and then you insert key facts and figures. Which facts and figures are important. That will only give power to your answer. So that will help. Then you form the body. In the body, it will be again what is the issue or why is the issue. For that, you need to have 5, 6 points, 5, 6 keywords. Then how to tackle it and what are the steps taken by government. Here also we have 5, 6 points. And the last is the way forward, which is the conclusion. So here also 5, 6 points. So my notes or my answer, although I have to make handwritten, it's messed up right now, but there's a few are in online, few are in my Mumbai home. So all those things were there. So what I used to do is that I used to just like keywords, man, the facts and figures and keywords. I used to not make my that note bulky because if I'm again adding text there, then there's no point. Because what I realized from my previous attempt is having 200, 300, they have one book full, which you need to revise before exam, and my handwriting is not that good. So I don't have that energy to read my own handwriting again. So those things are also there. So I this time I decided that I will just keep my notes minimal, just the important facts and figures. And since I read newspaper daily, so I will take points from newspaper also if it's relevant and put it in that section, whichever if it's regarding poverty, it's regarding green finance or all those things, I will put it in there. So that has to do, I has to have facts and figures. I has to have this, since I said the heading, the introduction, standard definition, and then why is the issue, how to tackle it, steps taken by government, and way forward. For every these headings, I had 5, 4 keywords just written, and I had that confidence in exam. If I know the keywords, I can elaborate and write 1, 2 sentences about each keyword. So this is sufficient to form a 400 word or 600 word answer. This is what I felt. So in ESI, I had this for like every chapter, one should have 1.5 pages enough, at max 2 page. But then if you have, then for 50 topics, you'll have at max 75 to 80 pages notes. And if you revise it properly, if it's properly maintained, I think it's enough for writing descriptive answers. So this is regarding ESI, ma'am, the way prepare. In fact, this time there were things, there were a few bounce, I don't know if it's a bouncer, but in ESI, the questions which came, there was directly references to reports. These reports say what is the situation of migration or green finance. I don't remember the exact questions now. So, ma'am, there was a situation when I did not read I did not know about the report like in detail what was the report was mentioned. I read the question at the end. I was like, okay, it's asking about migration, or okay, it's asking about ONDB. I think one question I'm not sure in FM or ESI. ONDC question was also asked Open Network for Digital Commerce. So those questions, so it was like, okay, I know the topic, I have the content. So if it's saying regarding migration or something, at the end, then if I do Google research from few reports and whatever it is, I write the main issues, steps taken by government. It's not that tomorrow another report will come and give totally 90-degree opposite report or 180-degree opposite report. The main facts will be same only. Whichever report, if it's talking about poverty in India, a report by World Bank and a report by IMF, it's not that it will be one, okay, facts and figures will be different, I agree. But then the main facts, the main keywords which you will write, it will not be that it will be different. So at least so there, here only the same thing comes that if you in your notes, if you have, for example, poverty only, if you cover holistically in 2 page, covering all the keywords, I think it's sufficient and you'll be able to write a good answer. So this is regarding ESI. Coming to FM, FM is more about the objective part is mainly about keywords. Keywords are very important in FM. So since I prepared in 2020, I prepared for SEBI. I wrote mains also, so I prepared at that time properly for FM. So I had those notes and all, and then in whatever I used to get some time also, I used to solve quizzes from EduTap only. I used to solve quizzes, or I used to, in fact, ma'am, there was a situation in RBI also when I was preparing for RBI. I remember not before prelims. I used to sometimes go to EduTap marathon sessions of SEBI also, of management, and I used to see those
Hmm.
questions because at the end, management is a static part. It's not that
Hmm.
it's getting updated. So if you
Hmm.
solve more type of questions where the keywords are focused, you'll get knowledge. So in fact,
Hmm.
I sometimes I do this also. I go to EduTap, I go to marathon sessions, and I go for SEBI 2022 or
Hmm.
NABARD 2022 or 2021 attempt. And those things also I see, especially the static part. It helps
Hmm.
because at the end, it's not the static parts are changing. And
Hmm.
if the more questions you solve, the more you get to know. So for FM part, the objective was mainly based on that. And for
Hmm.
descriptive part, ma'am, again, you need to cover the syllabus. It's better to
Hmm.
stick to your syllabus. Of course, descriptive for like ESA, it will not be like in 1 page or 1.5 page it will be covered because, for example,
Hmm.
for example, leadership only. Leadership is such a is a big topic. There are leadership theories, there are different theories,
Hmm.
every theory has pros, cons. So summarizing in 1 page is not
For
it's not
everything.
feasible.
Hmm.
So at least can try at least, but in the way I say, for example, a leadership theory also, say yeah, motivation theory, say for example, in Maslow's theory only if you take. So there also you cover it the way I said in ESI, that you have the introduction, what is Maslow's theory, what are the pros, if there is any criticism, and more detail about it. So so that was the same approach I used to have, but then here like 1 page about each theory. So of course now leadership will be of around 7 to 8 page, or motivation will be about, since there are so many theories and different things like that. So there will be content theories, process theories, all those things. So you will have a bigger note compared to ESI for each topic. But then yeah, so that notes, if you have, then you just revise it before exam in the morning. Also, if you have a 50-page note, ma'am, if you wake up in the morning 5 and your exam is at 7 or 8, you in even 2 hours you can revise all the keywords again. So that's really helps. So yeah, so that was regarding my both descriptive and objective. I told that.
Okay, so for descriptive English, I would say you were pretty confident, but what you did was the book that you have read, where you have read about the essay, you referred to that also. And whenever you're working on your emails, maybe for office and job, so at that time you also check, okay, if I was writing it for mains, what mistake I would make. So you used to paste it to Grammarly and learn from your mistake, right? And you were sure about your typing speed since it was in your work, so you didn't worry much about that. Coming to your ESI part, in ESI, whatever preparation you have done earlier, I think for static part, you only rely on that. And for current part, you took help of the marathon session. And for answer writing, you suggested a very great thing, that one person from each chapter should have some certain topics written down and try to write down the body, the skeleton of the answer, and in under that they have need to write the keyword. Since writing the whole document will make it very bulky, and they themselves will not feel like reading it again, right? So just write the keywords, and when the question come in the examination, elaborate on those keywords. Then for coming to your FM part, so in FM part you took help, since it is more I would say is based on the theoretical portion, especially if you are talking about the management part. So there what you did for as you were preparing for the SEBI examination, at that time you had preparation, so but you took help of the earlier marathon of the SEBI also, because the subject is subject, the static portion is not going to change, so you did that. And for the rest of the part you rely on the marathon part, and you suggested very good thing. The static portion, even when it is for report, it is for everything, the government suddenly is not going to change the step, so one can do it even when the current affair is involved, that you prepare whatever report whenever you get time. One report, important report is there, you prepare the points. If next report come based on that, then also the points are not going to vary much. Like certain data will be changed, certain points will be changed, but main broad structure will remain same for the report. So I think that's a
Especially
great
for
lesson.
yes, ma'am, especially for ESI, because for example in
Mm-hmm.
poverty, all those things are content, that situation of poverty for India is it's not changing next year suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
So those broad things are same.
Yeah, yeah. So for poverty, that you have given the example, the
Yes, ma'am.
points are going to remain same. So one can rely, "Okay, okay, I have prepared this," so they should not panic there. Like
Yeah.
based on their earlier knowledge, they should write the answer. I think that is a great advice. Now coming to your interview part. So when we are talking about the interview, how was the feeling before you got into interview? You were nervous, like you were confident. What was going on in your mind, and how did your interview went?
Ma'am, interview did not go that well because
Mm-hmm.
everyone has their own benchmark, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, why I am saying that is that I got 48 out of 75 in interview, and
Mm-hmm.
I knew that there were certain weaknesses. In fact, I don't know, for RBA only, I felt the most least prepared, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, because I gave SIDBI interview also there. I got 94 out of 100. So in SBA also I got 49 out of 50. Like
Mm-hmm.
in interview I got 29, and GDG I got 20 out of
Mm-hmm.
20. In NHB also I got 48 out of 50, which was the highest. So Ma'am, I knew what is required for an interview. So what happened? I will divide the interview into five. I think three, four, or five important things. First is ma'am,
Mhm.
your profile. For
Mhm.
profile, if you're a fresher, then your graduation subjects,
Mhm.
finance knowledge is important. And if
Mhm.
you're working, then your current organization is very important. And if you get time, then also run. If you're working, if you've worked in multiple organizations, then also previous organization, at least go in their website and know the basic things. And since
Mhm.
I was working in SIDB, so is my current organization is also connected to banking, so it became very important. So this is the second part. Like I was
Mhm.
combined it into first part. Your profile comes working work wherever you are working. The
Mhm.
third is ma'am about RBI. So this is the most significant part, which I will be honest, I have ignored. Like
Mhm.
I thought, oh, since my interview was on 27 October, and I since that weekend was also of Durga Puja, so there were Navratri, so there was holidays, so I got an extended holiday. So 20 October I had leave. So I thought, RBI I will cover at that time those 5 days, which is not possible because RBI is vast about covering about RBI.
Mhm.
So what I focused was that my hobby. So also, if someone have a good like but to say if hobbies related to bulky things. For example, my
Mhm.
hobby was international relations, which I
Mhm.
mentioned in the
Mhm.
biodata. My hobby is a double-edged sword. Could have gone anyway. So because if you're writing something, then they will really what to say. They will really expect that you know. And in fact, in my interview, 10 minutes went on international news only. International news,
Mhm.
Israel Hamas war, Middle East situation, Lebanon, all those things came into play. So because that was my hobby. So what I did was that I focused too much on my hobby part, and also because it was my interest. So I used to see news, I used to see MES spokespersons, I used to cover Jaishankar sir's books and all those things. There's Henry Kissinger is an American foreign affairs. He passed away a few days ago. I
Mhm.
even bought his book and I was reading all those. So I went too much deep into my hobbies. Although the main interview was regarding RBI. So hobby I focused a lot, and the next thing is in newspaper. Newspaper is very important, ma'am. I especially in interview preparation, I follow three newspapers. Other than the Business Standard, the Hindu, which I follow usually, I also added the Live Mint because sometimes in Live Mint you get very good articles, the especially the editorial section. So these two, my preparation was that only. The international news section I covered, which was my hobby only, and the other one was newspaper. And regarding my current organization, SIDB, and the what to say, the other part was the RBI. I kept it for the last for 20 from last 5, 7, 8 days because after I will get full-time holidays, so I will study day and night. And the other thing is regarding profile, it was not a too much thing to prepare because I already appeared CB interview, SB interview. So HR questions were since I appeared so many times, so I knew how to answer. So, ma'am, that's it. So, going back to the interview day, yes, again, if I now I summarize, not preparing for RBI properly was a mistake which I've done. I'll accept. In fact, I will not advise any student to ignore. In fact, the first thing they should focus is about RBI website because the organization you're joining, you should be thorough with speeches, the bulletin board, and every latest thing of RBI. So, in fact, in my interview, there were two questions asked on speeches. The second one still I could answer because I was reading newspaper and I had some points. The first one I remember ma'am asking that recently our RBI governor gave a speech and it was regarding gave a speech and he said it's a big risk. So what is it about? So I said, ma'am, digital loan. मैम बोला नहीं ये था but then अभी नहीं recent speech किसके बारे में मैम I said micro loan तो chairman sir just ऐसे सब करके तुक्का मारते रहो कभी लग ही जाएगा and then I laughed and said sorry sir I will read about it after going home. So वही होता है so I did not speech so it was a negative point and for maybe this is the reason I got low marks also. Uh, and same regarding SIDBI also I read about the basic things but then they went for about deeper into Sidbi's balance sheet and all. मैं इतना deep में नहीं पढ़ा था. It is again my mistake only I should have done. So these are the things, ma'am, which we need to focus on prepare. Coming to my individual, since we said how was my experience, last 5 days I was really panicked. I was like, यार
Mhm.
इंटरमीडिएट तक पहुंच गया काश मैं इंटरव्यू अच्छे से प्रिपेयर कर लेता मतलब ये सब कर लेता. Then I said to God also, see, daily I woke up at 4 and I studied. Of course, I studied other things which may not be that important, but it's not that I took this interview lightly. I studied newspaper daily. I studied my international relations daily. So it's not that I've not studied, but
Mhm.
yeah, I know I've done a foolish thing. I did not do a smart work. I've done a foolish thing by not giving prioritizing important things. Before entering the interview, also I told that only. So, ma'am, before entering interview, they ask you to sit alone. because the next
Mm.
person who is inside and you'll be outside
Mhm.
sitting in a chair and everyone, no one will be there. You will just have a glass of water and you sit there quietly. And then I
Mhm.
looked at the ceiling and I just said to God, he, whatever efforts I've given is given. If RBI Grade B 2023 is in my destiny, then it will happen this year.
Mhm.
If not, then anyway, whatever I do, it will not happen.
Mhm.
So this is not in my control. And luck plays, like after giving so many interviews, I definitely feel luck plays a big role in your interview because you never know. Now I will say a question. There was one guy who went after me, and two or three questions they asked which he could not answer, and he told me the terms, and I never heard those terms also. So they would have asked me those terms. I don't know. It happens. So his luck was bad, or I don't know. So it happens. So it can go in any way. So those is we need to accept these are uncertainties based, and that's why we need to look sometimes for our backup also. If you already
Mhm.
have one attempt and you have prepared properly, have backups so that you know that life these interviews are uncertain and it can go any day. In your day, you can get highest mark in interview also, and in a bad day, you might get disqualified also. No, disqualified, you can get low marks also.
Mhm.
So that's the thing. So I said to God that only. So all I can do right now is I've given my efforts. Right now,
Mhm.
nothing is in my hands. All I can do is go inside the room. There are five distinguished panel members sitting in front of me. They are so much experience. All I can do is have a good conversation with them.
Mhm.
That's all. I can give so that after they also feel that okay, ठीक है, even if they say कि चलो इस लड़के को कुछ आता नहीं है, but still they will say कि चलो it was good talking to him, and
Mhm.
that that's that was what I told to God, and I went inside the room.
Mhm.
All I want to do is that have a smile in my face, confident. It's okay if you don't know. सब कुछ नहीं आता सबको. So
Mhm.
it's okay. You say properly. Don't bluff around. Although I was not bluffing, ma'am, at the time. Well, I was just taking a guess. But then yeah, so I was not bluffing. But then yeah, so those things are there. So ma'am, this is all. After coming out of my interview, I felt it went thick tack. Then I knew that I have given other interviews which went well. So I know the
Mhm.
difference between a good interview and a thick tack interview. So it's
Mhm.
like अभी ऊपर वाले के हाथ में ही है जो होगा देखा जाएगा. So
Mhm.
that's how I went.
Right. So after you saw your name on the list, what was the reaction?
I'm very happy, ma'am. Like, although I will say first December, May, I started another group in WhatsApp
Mhm.
where I have added few people and I named it RBI Grade B 2024 because I was like, वापस prepare करना ही है. So because I was not that much hopeful,
Mhm.
मतलब I will not say कि मतलब मुझे पता नहीं था. I will be very
Mhm.
honest because I said right that 10 July I gave prelims and 30 July was mains, and within that I had SIDB joining and all those
Mhm.
things. And since it was my first mains, after giving mains, if anyone, if mom dad asked me how was the
Mhm.
mains, I said the exam is doable. Like I felt after giving the exam, it's doable. कि it's tough, but मैंने पढ़ाई अच्छे से strategy से किया, it's doable.
Mhm. Mhm.
So तो वही लगा. So इनफैक्ट इसलिए ना मैं घर में आके it's not like that after coming to home I matched the answer keys with EduTap or something. I did not do anything like that. I just left like because in my case also, ma'am, like I gave my interviews 30, which was I think Sunday. And
Mhm.
30 night I took a flight.
Mhm.
From there I came to Kolkata. In morning
Mhm.
5 I took a train and I come to
Mhm.
back to 9 and I joined office. So I didn't even
Mhm.
have time to think about kya hua exam and all
Mhm.
because it's
Mhm.
part we were back to office. And
Mhm.
since I joined recently, so I had to go to visits. नया loan है,
Mhm.
इतना कुछ काम है. So I never got that much time to think also about it.
Mhm.
So since I did not know how my mains went exactly, so that's why regarding my results also I was not confident. I thought okay maybe side border margins I have cleared, but then after cutoffs came out, the cutoff was 169 I think of mains and I scored 186. So luckily
Mhm.
I had a tic tac lead.
Mhm.
So yeah. So after that it was a sigh of relief, man. The next day when I woke up I was like, okay, and today I don't have a tension key what to study today or what to take stress about what to study today. There was a thing that at least now I can do things. It's not like my life has changed drastically. I'm still going to
Mhm.
office, doing work,
Mhm.
coming back at 8 p.m. or whatever it is time and doing whatever it is. But it's just
Mhm.
that there's a sense of relaxation. And of course the
Mhm.
proudness. In fact, मैंने अभी तक party नहीं दिया. My dad gave almost 15,000, 16,000 party at his office because I cleared. So parents are very happy about it. So sometimes when you see your parents happy also, it's good. Like it feels good. कि चलो, they are also happy, and I am also right now stress free. That okay, at least
Mhm.
from job perspective I am settled now.
Mhm.
If I study also, then I'll study for higher studies, or if I do those things. But then from job,
Mhm.
I at least now my view is that I will retire from RBI only. So yeah.
That is great. That is great. Any last tip that you want to share with the aspirant who are preparing for the same examination or hoping to crack this exam?
No, ma'am, I think few ingredients which are very important. One is discipline. There will be ups and downs, but we can't give up. also not to get too much emotionally connected to anything, because it's not like, for example, for ma'am, what another change? Okay, maybe I'm just adding too much information.
No,
Another
no,
change
no.
which I've done in my second attempt is that, ma'am, after daily, no, I used to go for 30 minutes walk in my that second phase of preparation, right, in 2022.
Debaneel, video was paused, so
Sure.
I'll re-ask the question.
Sure.
You just let me know, okay?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. So, Debaneel, would you like to share some last minute tip for the people who are preparing for this examination or planning to prepare next year's exam for RBI?
Yeah, ma'am. So I just say there are a few ingredients which are required for this exam. The first one is discipline. So no matter what is going on, you need to get up next day. And if you are really motivated, if you really want to crack this exam, determined to bring this discipline, no matter what happens. Don't get too much emotionally connected to things, I will say. Ma'am, here also one change which I have done in my second phase of preparation in 2022 was that every day for 30 minutes I have to go out for a walk. So what used to happen in that is that when you go out for a walk, no, you see other people also, because otherwise you are closed in a room and you are studying daily. So you sometimes you get demotivated, or you just feel where you are stuck in a loop. But when you go outside and you see people, you just realize that life does not end with this. Even if I'm today, if I would have not have cleared exam, तब भी ऐसा नहीं कि life अटक जाता है, life would have finished. So, but if you're determined towards it, then keep striving towards it. Daily get up, set your to-do list. Try every day. Like before sleeping, ask if RBI Grade B 2024 is your goal, then today what I've done for that goal. So if you have some answer, then good. Smile and be happy and sleep. If you don't have an answer, then okay, tomorrow I will work harder towards that goal. So here the discipline comes, and no matter what, even if you're taking a small break of 2 days, make sure that 2 days is a break now. The third day you should again be at your study table. If you're working, then of course sacrifices थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो जाता है. You need to wake up at 4 or 5. You need to sacrifice a lot of things. Now I have sacrificed, like in the sense that after 2021, I almost for 1 year my phone was switched off. I took a different number, and with that I just gave to my close 2 or 3 friends with whom I was in contact. That's all. And so keep because if you go to Instagram and all the social media, you'll see people enjoying, and then you may again feel demotivated. So those things, and then the last will be, then have trust in God, have faith in God. And if you just keep doing your hard work, someday you'll be rewarded. Maybe not in this exam, maybe in some other exams. At the end, many people I've seen people complaining. In fact, I know people my friends who sometimes complain, "Yaar, mera luck hi kharab hai," or something. I say you judge your luck when you're 60, because at that time you'll retire. See your life cycle, how things have progressed, and if you see कि नहीं यार मेरा हमेशा luck खराब ही हुआ, तब तुम बोलो. So now you don't know ना. Now right now you can say कि मेरा नबर्ड नहीं हुआ, आरबीआई नहीं हुआ, मेरा लक खराब है. क्या पता तुम आरबीआई से बहुत अच्छा पोजीशन में हो 2 साल बाद. You never know what things plays. Don't blame your luck. Just focus on your hard work. And if it's written in your destiny, it will happen. And even if it's not written in your destiny, since you'll do so much hard work, you'll become disciplined. कहीं ना कहीं अच्छी जिंदगी में करेंगे.
That is, I think, great advice and great motivation also for the people who are stressed about the preparation. You can learn a lot from his story, not only regarding the preparation, about the personal growth in interview, what kind of nitty-gritty question can be there. So Debaneel have shared his amazing journey with us, and he have given us a lot of advices. So I thank you, and I wish you luck in the RBI organization. Okay, so we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, man. Thanks.